Hey, everybody, welcome. Hopefully you can hear clearly. And sorry I wasn't on yesterday. And I know a number of people called and said, I tried to listen to you live yesterday and you weren't there. And I know a lot of people are trying now to get on live. It's easy. I try to do these things right at noon every day, except on Saturday mornings. Saturday mornings, we're going to do Facebook Live. And again, stay on the air with Facebook probably 2 or 3 hours to answer any and all questions you might have. Today we're going to talk about, could CBD be playing a role in this whole world of coronavirus? I just downloaded a whole myriad of things, a lot of which I'm going to share on Saturday, about why and how the coronavirus is causing death, and why and how hydroxychloroquine is working. So interesting information. You may want to, in fact, I strongly suggest you tune in with us on Facebook through the Nutrition Shop Facebook page on Saturday morning. Could CBD play a role in dealing with resistant microorganisms? As antibiotic resistance reaches dangerously high levels, scientists are researching ways to halt this alarming trend. Now you're going to say, like, what's this have to do with the coronavirus? Well, as we know, there are virtually no real powerful antivirals. You know, that Tamiflu and those kind of concepts are only effective if early on in the first 48 hours after exposure, they seem to help. Overuse of antibiotics is cited as the main cause of antibiotic resistance. So even though that's talking about bacteria, could the overuse of antibiotics over the years troubled our immune system in such a way that we can becoming problematic with things like the coronavirus? The antibiotics also wreak havoc on the gut microbiome. And how many times on this show in particular have we talked about gut health and the importance of gut health and how that's one of the first lines of defense against coronavirus or anything? As the Journal of Nature Research points out, quote, the observation that the gut microbiome can be permanently perturbed, even short-term or low-dose antibiotic treatment, and that this change can have long-term effects on health, cautions against widespread and potentially unnecessary use of antibiotics, particularly in young children and pregnant women, and illustrates that antibiotics should not be considered harmless. However, it raises hope for microbiome modulation as a therapeutic treatment for immune conditions. Microbiome modulation as therapeutic treatment for immune conditions. Picking up your immunity in the wake of a corona outbreak. Now you're going to say again, well, what about azithromycin or Z-Pak? That's an antibiotic. But again, 5-day treatment. And I would strongly recommend during those 5 days of using a substantial dose of Saccharomyces as a probiotic. Crucial factor. With new antibiotic development experiencing an innovation gap, there hasn't been anything new to come down the line. More research is focusing on helper compounds to offset this resistance. Helper compounds are non-antibiotic compounds that enhance the efficacy of antibiotics. Researchers at the University of South Denmark recently investigated cannabidiol, CBD, as a potential helper compound. CBD. In the past, CBD has been linked to hindering bacterial growth, but researchers point out that not much is known regarding the antimicrobial effects of cannabinoids. CBD was also tested against Enterococcus faecilis, Listeria, and methicillin-resistant Staph aureus. Remember that outbreak? Contact, wrestling teams, boils type sores on the body. From there, they tested the effects of CBD and using an antibacterial combined against different gram-positive bacteria, which suggested that CBD could potentiate the antimicrobial effects of the antibiotic. The research team found that when antibiotic bacitracin is combined with CBD, the duo can fight off antibiotic resistant bacteria. CBD supercharges it. Now, you're going to say, well, shouldn't I be doing that now? Probably. Probably saying I'm using a Disneyland mug. That's where my water is. These effects were not exhibited when testing with either CBD or the bacitration by themselves. It's called synergism. Based on these observations, the combination of CBD and bacitration is suggested to be a putative novel treatment in clinical settings for the treatment of infections with antibiotic-resistant gram-positive bacteria, the researchers stated. The authors noted that more research is needed to better understand the mechanisms of actions of combined CBD and bacitration treatment on bacteria, which could contribute to the development of fewer resistant bacteria. Journal of Scientific Reports. Cannabidiol is an effective helper compound in combination with other antibacterials to kill gram-positive bacteria. You're going to say, like, what's this have to do with coronavirus? Well, on Saturday, I'll tell you a little bit more insight on how they feel that the anti-malarial drugs are working. What's it doing? We're also going to discover really how the coronavirus has taken a toll on the human body. So if we're using the dual synergistic effect of using azithromycin with the anti-malarial drug, hydroxychloroquine, would we get even a better effect, a more sustained effect, a stronger effect by adding CBD at the same time? And if you're going to do CBD, you don't buy it at these superstores or in the drugstore. You get an all-organic sourced product grown in the USA, sourced in the USA, which is why we use Nutritional Frontiers across the board, from the chewable gummies to the tinctures to the capsules. All organic, USDA organic. Try to find that somewhere else. You're not going to be able to. If you want more information on this, please give us a call. Now, as I promised on the letter that we sent out earlier in the week of what we were going to talk about this week, I'm going to share this, again, getting out of the mode of coronavirus for just a minute. A combination of inulin and aloe vera gel may help improve the composition of the gut microbiome in people with mild constipation and help reduce adverse symptoms, says a study from Korea. Scientists from Sukmyeong Women's University in Seoul reports that 4 weeks of supplementation with a prebiotic product led to increases in butyrate-producing bacteria and decreases in lipopolysaccharide concentrations, which was an endotoxin, compared to placebo. It stopped constipation. The material used in the studies are known laxatives, about which only a few clinical studies are available, but their effects on microbial composition have not been investigated. This clinical trial showed that 4 weeks of intervention with the prebiotic inulin, which again, I will reiterate, in our ultra probiotic, helped patients with mild constipation, resulted in decreased serum concentrations of the bacterial endotoxin and its receptors. Supplementation induced an increase in the abundance of fecal butyrate-produced bacterium. Commenting independently on the study's findings, Glenn Gibson, professor of food microbiology, a pioneer and world-renowned expert in prebiotics, said this is a well-conducted human studies into the effects of a carbohydrate mixture that contains the prebiotic inulin. The effects upon improving transit time of this prebiotic are known, so that it is not a particularly novel observation here. Similarly, influences upon endotoxemia have been previously reported. However, these effects have been correlated with fecal microbial changes. Prebiotics are defined as, quote, a substrate that is selectively utilized by host microorganisms, conferring a health benefit. INULIN. Look at our label of our ultra probiotic. Could have used a lot of different prebiotics in there. We chose inulin. The researchers recruited 40 people with mild constipation to participate in the randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled parallel study, that's the best kind, Subjects were randomly assigned to receive 13 grams per day of the inulin or a maltodextrin placebo for 4 weeks. Results showed the prebiotic groups experienced significant decreases in serum cluster differentiation. You don't need to know that. It says this. In addition, the abundance of firmicutes was found to decrease in the prebiotic responders. Remember what I said? When you do the stool analysis, Bacteroides good, firmicutes bad. The abundance of firmicutes was decreased just by adding more prebiotic fiber. You know, I think back to when I opened my pharmacy years ago. I mean, back in the late 80s. And in the early 90s, my daughter, who was really small at the time, came to work at the pharmacy. And it was funny that in that world, and she worked at the counter. She used to love to ring the cash register. And she said to me after a couple of days, her Daddy, everybody that comes in here buys a laxative. Is the whole world constipated? And this was words from probably, I think she was 7 at the time. I said, yeah, there's a big problem there. And I think there's a lot of us, even a lot of people listening right now that are in that boat. So if you're not taking the right forms of a probiotic, especially our ultra probiotic, you may be having problems. It's not going to work as a laxative overnight. It's the one that you will use on a regular basis, 1 or 2 a day on a regular ongoing basis. Get all the good bacteria as well as the inulin in you. You want more information on that, call our staff here at 678-228-8900, 678-228-8900. Website, thenutritionshop.net. Tomorrow on the show, we're going to read about hospitals now turning to vitamin C to treat coronavirus. Been talking about that for some time. We'll bring you a new research piece that really brings it to the table again. Hey, share this with other people, won't you? Please like our Facebook, our YouTube page, please. You can find that right on our website at thenutritionshop.net. Click on the little red link at the top of the page. And I will see you tomorrow. Make sure you're in there with us. God bless you. Have a great, healthy day. Take care.